Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Before I begin, I would like to ask that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share me with somebody that just want a nice, true story, true spooky story to listen to. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Well, this is the story of Monte Carlo Drive, a street known for people hanging out on it after dark in the Orlando, Florida area off of Rio Grande Avenue, about 2 blocks away from Camping World Stadium and 1 block away from Jones High School. Now, as I stated, this park was known for all kind of street walkers, lady of the nights, johns that just wanted to get off, and they would pay for women, drive them down there, do whatever they had to do to them with them, and drive off, and nobody would be the wiser. The street was known. There's no cameras on the street to this day. There's no cameras or anything, and the street is super dark. There's no lights. It's just a dark street. Well, when I was younger, I'm gonna say I had to be around 15, coming from Jones High, and we cut through that road in order to go to the park. And at that time, the park let out a little bit behind the neighborhood to go along the main road, leaving Jones High School would be longer, but we can take a block over, shoot through the park, and just bypass Orange Center, the area of Orange Center, because it was a lot of rival gangs in that area, and we didn't want to get shot. And the gang members didn't hang out at the park, because the Barker's Park right there, because they thought it was haunted. And the road Monte Carlo runs dead smack into the tail entrance of Barker Park. So we would walk through Barker Park before, we didn't care. We was in a group. So as one night we're walking up this road, tap, 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 tap. And it's dark as fuck, and it's me, my cousin, about 3 other dudes, and we just having fun, enjoying ourselves, laughing, talking about when we get our Chevy Vets and big rims, heavy Chevy riders, we gonna bring them back in. We gonna hit our chicks and shit, if we can't get no hotel, just dreams of grandeur, of doing dumb shit. So as we're walking, and I'm gonna just drag you through it. I'm gonna describe the walk, then I'll get into the spooky stuff. Now, back in the day, there was no businesses. There was one house on this road, and the house, that was the only light you can see, and the house was halfway down the road. So it's dark from the point of entrance off of Rio Grande, jet black dark. If the moon wasn't out, you wouldn't see a damn thing. And then you would have this house, but there was always this brick wall to the left as you're going down the road heading towards the park area. There was this brick wall with barbed wire, but when we looked over the fence, over the wall, there was no building there. There was nothing. It just was a brick wall, barbed wired up. And on the other side, there was nothing but woods and a little lake or some retention pond. So we was just walking down there one night, hanging out, chilling, laughing and talking. So as we get to the park, and we like, all right, let's go cross over this bridge, and we'll be home set. We'll be past Orange Center apartments, and then we could pick an orange off the tree, and we can go ahead and cut and hit Ivy Lane Road, because it would have took us right to Ivy Lane Road, but the back way. Well, after we made it to the park, we see some headlights coming down the road. So we like, shit, nah, somebody finna do it. Because we knew nobody came down that road other than prostitutes or johns that had a prostitute with them, or kids that just want a quickie in a dark spot. So everybody was like, man, you want to hide right here and watch them fuck, get down? And I was like, at first I was like, yeah, why not? Let's check this shit out. We'll laugh a little bit. So then everybody like, man, it's late. We got to get home. I think it was Robert. He was like, man, let's just go home. I don't want to be out here at this park. It's nighttime, man. It's dark as shit. So we like, yeah, you're right. Because he started telling us about the ghost stories at the park. I'm like, yeah, let me get the fuck out of here. So as we leave, we see the lights. We see the car. I distinctly saw a Caucasian woman get out of this car. And then as we crossed the bridge, you could still see the road. So I saw a Caucasian girl get out the car, and I saw a white dude get out the car, white or Hispanic, brother. I don't want to just call no race like that, but I know the girl, she was white. And they started kissing and laughing and, playing. So they walked to the entrance of the park. And as we were crossing the bridge, we see him just groping up, got his hand all in her panties and shit. He was having at her good. So then they decided to go back to the car and do their thing. By then, we done disappeared over the bridge. We can't see nothing. We laughing and we yelling obscenities. And I don't know if they heard us because nobody stopped doing what they were doing. So I'm assuming they went back to the car and got down. Now I'm going to stop it right there. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly in detail what happened to these two people on this road. Well, as the guy was getting it down with the girl in the car, he had a pistol or something in the car in case somebody was to come up there and try to rob him. Because again, it was a place known for people to have sex. So you had the jump out boys that would jump out and rob the people. And how you gonna fight back with your dick out and your woman pussy scattered all over the place? So you just give them what they want. And they didn't shoot nobody, kill nobody, just the little jack boys would give me this. And hell, they got some common that the Johns would pay the jack boys to hang out at the end of the corner when they came down there to screw, do whatever they do, and warn them if the police come, like walk in front of the police crews and stop it, and that'll give them time to get right. So it was a thing. But on this night right here, there was no jack boys. There was none, just this couple doing what they doing. So the man had a gun, and I'm assuming he landed to the woman, because my cousin doubled back. He said, dude, I lost my shoe. So we waited across the bridge because we ain't going across the park. I'm like, man, it's late, bitch. We done made it through. No ghost, no demon, no shit. You on your own, pimping. So he goes back and he finds his shoe towards the foot of the bridge. So he looks over there and he said he sees some lights coming up bearing quick. So he thought they were gonna rob the people, so he was gonna watch, make fun and laugh and hackle and shit. But as the lights come boring down, he realized it was a police cruiser because he can see a little better than the couple in the car. But the police cruiser didn't have the lights on, the red and blue flashing lights. And the couple was in that bitch getting it down. Dude was laying into the chick from what, our homeboy was talking about. And so when the car pulled up, the dude thought he was gonna get jacked and robbed. So he jumps out the car, butt ass naked, and he pulls out his gun and he points it at the cop cruiser. By then, the lights of the cop cruiser car was blinding him. Because keep in mind, he was parked, his lights was off. And if you look at a car at nighttime, they're gonna blind you. You can't see who behind them lights. So he was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I'll bust a cap in one of y'all ass. And then he just heard the cop say, put the gun down, put the fucking gun down. And he was like, fuck you, get out of here, bitch, get out of here, I'll blow y'all heads off. And then all of a sudden the cop opened fire. Tap, 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 tap. About 18 shots rang out at the scene. So now our homeboy sitting up there, oh shit, they shooting. So then he been across the thing. So he said when he got across the bridge, he looked back. And then the girl, after the man was struck 5 or 6 times, the girl got out the car naked and she was mad and she thought it was some jack boy. So she pissed off and the white girl grabbed the pistol and she started shooting at the cops. Pow, pow, pow. And she struck one of the cops, I guess, because One, because I think from what we heard, because my dad and them lived in that area at that time, they was like, oh, one of the cops was shot, but they killed two people. So the cops returned fire and killed that girl. So now listen to me good. That haven't been a prostitute slaying, a hooker slaying, no drug dealing, no gang banging on this road. The only two people to die on this road, from my understanding, everybody, was this couple, this white girl and this white man, either Hispanic man. I don't know. So that's the tragic that happened now. Fast forward. When the Johns go down there now to take the woman, whatever, it's like their car don't work too good. And they'll stop the car by this big old tree next to that big old wall with the barbed wire. And the tree is kind of digging into the wall because it done grown so much. And they would stop the car right there. So if your car went past that, it didn't work too good. It was sputtering, speakers, all kind of radio anomalies. So you had to stop it right there. And if you wanted to do something, you would have to get out the car and you would have to walk a little bit further up. It was still a big gap in the dark, and people would bring blankets and pillows and shit, and they would chairs and shit. They would just come out there, walk a little bit in the shadows and fuck and get back in their shit and roll. Well, it was said that every time somebody would come out to have some fun in that area, that if it's a girl and a guy, say they would always feel somebody holding their hand. They say the girl would be walking beside the girl and the guy would be walking beside the guy, and you can feel somebody like holding your hand and walking y'all both in this warm pressure feeling. A lot of people have stated this, and I'm like, that's crazy. This shit is gonna get real, y'all. I'm like, this shit is gonna get real quick. So, people were doing it and they had got used to it because it wasn't no evil ghosts. It just was, the couple just died there and their spirit was lingering. So, fast forward a little bit. I forget at the time who I was dating, but I know I wasn't doing no good. I knew I was probably just met some little chick and I just want to take her down there to have a little fun, quick bang on the park. And I knew about the ghost story, but, when you're a 19-year-old kid, you just got your nuts cracked. You don't care nothing about that shit, man. You trying to get some, baby. So I took the chick down there and, I know the rules. Stop the car before the tree and you just walk off on in there and then, so we had a little blanket and stuff. We were going to lay down on the ground, but we were going to leave the blanket there because, people were pissing and all that shit around there with bottles and just debris. So the chick was on it. I'm on it. I'm with it. So we go down there and we getting ready to get it down. So as we get there, I feel the pressure on my hand. At first, the girl felt the pressure on her hand, if I'm telling the story correctly. And she was like, dude, you feel that on your hand? I said, I don't feel nothing. And then all of a sudden, my right hand felt like it was warm and I felt pressure. And I'm like, okay, that shit is just in my head. Nigga, I'm finna bang this chick on out and get over with this shit. Egg her on. Yeah, I feel it too, but I really felt it. So we get down and I say, this is a good spot. She said, yeah. So for the life of me, I don't know why when people screw outside, they want to take off all their clothes instead of just expose the fucking organ. Not just a side note, people. Goddamn, if you're going to be doing some adventurous shit, don't get butt ass naked. Throw your clothes 10, 15 feet away from you. God damn. So the chick done got butt ass naked. And what the fuck you doing? Well, I'm keeping on my pants. I'm just unbuckle these bitches and we can ride like this. So as the chick get butt naked, I'm looking at her. And this was a dark-skinned sister, y'all. This chick wasn't dark no more. She looked like a little white woman. And I say, the moon must be out here, your skin. I say, girl, because you glowing. And she say, oh, yeah, I use Skin So Soft. I use Skin So Soft for Avon. And we laughing, and I'm like, Skin So Soft, just making up a song because I know I'm finna get on this mouth. Man, next thing you know, it just got weird. It's like we heard no sound. And then when we heard no sound, we looked over there to our left. And it was a couple already over there, but the couple was butt-ass naked too, but they wasn't doing anything. They wasn't smoking. They wasn't talking. They wasn't doing shit. They just was sitting there, butt-ass naked on their blanket. And I'm like, oh shit, somebody already here. And you know, motherfucker, if you're doing something, bitch gonna be startled and be like, yeah, what's up, man? Yeah. They just was just sitting there, Indian style, just looking at each other in a trance. So I'm like, well, this is weird. So I say, sister, go get your clothes, man. I ain't finna sit up here and get no pussy while these niggas sitting up here ain't doing nothing. They just staring at each other, meditating and shit on the spooky road. I say, these people may be serial killers or something. And I'll say, we finna get out of here. So she was begging, she wanted to do it. She was insisting that, hey, man, let's get the shit rocking. I said, no. So, you know, I walk over there and I start grabbing her clothes. I say, come on now, sweetheart, put back on your shit, man. Let's go somewhere else. I say, we could go to my sister's house or something. I was just coming up with any excuse because the shit didn't feel right with me, y'all. But I kept saying, dog, that don't feel right. So that chick stayed there. And she stayed there and she was just hanging out. And as I'm leaving, as I say, okay, well, I ain't gonna stay here with you. This shit don't seem right. So she put on her clothes and she was just chilling there. She was in her own little groove. So she went and sat down over there next to the naked couple. And I'm like, this some weird shit. But the naked couple still didn't move. So it's like she got in a trance. So I say, well, I'm out of this bitch. So I said, I'm out. I said, you coming? So I get in my car, I back up, and I float. So as I'm backing up, I back up and the headlights shine over there. When the headlights shined over there, I see her sitting down on the blanket, Indian style. But then I don't see the couple that we seen earlier sitting down on the blanket, Indian style. I said, man, now then I was like, if this lady don't see what I'm saying, you know, it got real crazy, people. So I said, I can't leave her. And I wanted to get out of that situation so bad. I mean, my palms are sweaty. I was feeling eerie. I mean, I wanted to throw up in a way, but not throw up. Kind of like dry heaving almost. But then as we're sitting there, another couple comes. Another car flies up the road. And this car beaming, I mean, it's coming real fast. So I'm like, oh, crap. They finna hit my car because I had parked in the road with a headlight at an angle where the headlights can see against the wall. And as I'm sitting there, like, just thinking, talking to... So I stayed there trying to coast her. Then I see a car coming up. When I see the car coming up, I say, okay, here's another couple. Lo and behold, they stop at the tree. They bypass me. They see her sitting there with the lights on. Dude laughing like, oh man, you must didn't last long. She ain't satisfied. She could join us. And she ain't laughing. She ain't saying nothing. Then his lady get out the car and she like, I hope you ain't do nothing to her. And I'm like, listen, I say, I seen a couple over there prior to her and she wanted to go sit with them. And the dude was like, oh, them people over there? Say, dude, don't worry about them. They always here. They come here every night and just sit there. I say, you can see them? He was like, yeah, I can see them. We see them every time. Me and my chick come to bitch all the time. I say, now check this out, man. So I turned on my headlights. I say, where they at now? He like, the fuck? I say, I know. And only thing he seen was his lady talking to the chick that I brought down there to mess around with. And he was like, baby, leave that bitch alone. Come here. Come here. And he called his old lady back to him. And like, man, and say, stand right here. And he said, dude, turn that shit on again. Because she didn't see the people when she was over there. So then turned off the lights. The people came in the view. She like, oh, I didn't see them. I was right next to them. And then I turned on the headlights again. It was just the girl that I brought down there. She was sitting there in a trance all by herself. And the girl said, this shit is crazy and spooky. And like, man, we can't do it right here. And he like, I always see them people, why they disappearing now? And they were like, man, that's some crazy shit. That's some crazy shit. And they thought that shit was hilarious. I say, well, listen, man, I'm finna float because this shit is too spooky for me. I know how this shit is. I done seen Jason Voorhees. And he was like, yeah, we finna go. So he had to go and tell his girlfriend or whoever he was with, and forcefully they dragged that girl back into the car. Now, she didn't get in my car. She got in their car, and the girl was like, where you live? And they just went in her purse and found the address where she lived. Get this, people. She lived less than 5 minutes away from that road. If I'm not mistaken, she lived off of Grand Street or Grant Street in that area, less than 5 minutes. So they put in the car. They like, we gonna take her home, man. She gonna be safe. You know, and back in them days, you can trust people. So they got the girl to the house. And 2 days later, I go to the chick house I visit. I say, hey man, you okay? You seen the little spook dot? She was like, what you mean? I say, we went on Monte Carlo to fuck around. I say, but you start acting weird and shit, and you wanted to hang out with a ghost couple. She like, we never went on Monte Carlo. She say, I don't fuck off like that. I mean, she was a totally new person. I say, this is crazy. So I go home and I was telling my mama and I was telling my cousin about it. And my cousin, he was a hard-headed, tough dude. So he used to go back there and sell drugs. He was one of the jack boys that robbed people back there. And he was like, oh, man, you know how many people done got killed back there? I say, no. I say, just the one the police did. I say, but that was a white couple. He like, no, man. He say, them niggas back there in Owen Center done killed a lot of people, and that's their dumping ground. And say what they do, they would kill them, and they would put them in the lake and let the alligators eat them and shit. I say, what? He said, yeah, man. Say if the dude didn't want to pay up, say they'll shoot their ass, rape the chick, and throw her in the bush. And I'm like, oh my God, man. And I say, that's probably what happened. So when I told him what was happening, and my mama and them, they thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and I couldn't find no humor in that. So then when I took them to the girl house, I said, come on, y'all need to go with me. And they was like, and the chick name was Nikki. And they were like, Nikki. And like, hey, Pat. And say that, what happened to you on that street? She say, I don't remember going down that street. And lo and behold, everybody was telling this girl she was down that street, and she started acting funny, all this stuff. Even the couple that, you know, took her to her house, they stopped by and they checked on her too. But it's something about that street on Monte Carlo Avenue, the part that leads into Barker Park. That street is fucking haunted. A lot of sex workers go down there. The jack boys used to rob people down there. And that's not the worst of it, people. Now, that's the haunted part of the street. I gotta give you the update, the day-to-day update. So now, and you can look this shit up, it's in the news. So there was this 20-year-old man, Nevin. I think his name was Nevin. In 2020, he had took a chick down there, and him and the chick was gonna be doing some chilling and shit. And then they found him hung in a tree. They found him hung in a tree at Barker's Park. Then in 2017, 2018, another dude was down there. They said he was fishing. They found him drowned in the canal. Now, I don't know what's going on between Monte Carlo Parkway, Monte Carlo Park and the tail end of Barker's Park, but it's a lot of mysterious deaths out there. The police came and did an investigation with that young man, and they said it was suicide, that he was attempting suicide, but he had bruises and lesions on him, and the simple fact that, you know, he was hanging in a tree with a rope, and they said he brought the rope to the thing to hang himself, which is suspicious. But what happened to the girl that he was with? Because everybody said, his mama and grandma said he left the house with a chick to go hang out at the park, but the chick ain't nowhere to be seen. I'm telling you now, check this shit out, it's spooky. Then they said a dude used to go fishing all the time, and he used to always tell them that I'm going to see my girlfriend, she at the park, and she like when I go fish. So the police concluded that the dude was fishing. One of his fishing poles fell in the thick brush of the canal, and he jumped in to get the fishing pole. You know, and then after he jumped in to get the fishing pole, the vegetation drowned him and he couldn't pull himself up. So that's 2 deaths at this park in the last 5 years since I've been trying to get a little research on this park. But I promise you, people, I think it stems from those 2 couples and all the bodies and the peoples that the Jack Boys and the police used to shoot and hurt people. And maybe it was some serial killer, some sick fucks that was unaliving people on that road. I don't know. That road is just nasty, haunted, and it has a nasty fucking feeling. And if you drive past there at nighttime, drive down that road at nighttime, there is no gate stopping you from entering the park at night. Nothing. You can drive down there at nighttime and you can smell the piss, the drugs, you can see the debris. You'll see 1 or 2 cars back there getting it down. It's just but the park is so beautiful. But right before you go into the entrance of that hell mouth of a park, you're gonna experience a lot of shivers. Your car not gonna work right. It's horrible, people. Now don't take my word for it. And I caution you to be very careful if you go to this park or you go to the park driving down Monte Carlo that leads to it. You could probably get in there the opposite way off of Rio Grande Avenue, Orange Center, but Gore Street. I think it's Gore Street. But if you drive down Monte Carlo and you go in there, you going into another dimension because them spirits hunt that place. I went down there and I got this picture for you guys, the one that's gonna be posted in the left in the left corner of this video. See the park? I'll post about 5 or 6 pictures as this thing play. Hopefully, if my editing skills right, you guys have seen them. But that's what's going on. So, Monte Carlo Drive that leads into Barker's Park is a haunted fucking road. Travel that bitch at your own peril. I'm tight, telling y'all take care, stay safe, and stay off that fucking road, please. Have a good one.